Good morning, fellow herbalists, Facebook friends. We're back again for our Thursday morning Plant Power Half Hour. I have my guest, my friend, my business partner, my associate. I don't know what terminology it is, but Paula's here with me. Paula Johnson is a integrated health and nutrition coach, and I have done several herbalist training programs. They give you a certificate that calls you a master, Paula, but the only master that I really know are some of my mentors who are still here with us today. Matt Wood and Phyllis Light and Rosemary Gladstar and Susan Weed. I mean, there's so many of these women that I've learned from. I am far from their caliber. So, that piece of paper is actually in a drawer. It never goes on my wall. And then I think of my grandmother, who taught me so much about being an herbalist and plant medicine and being in the garden and growing and weeding and doing everything organically because she was feeding her kids with this stuff. We're talking lots and lots of years ago, 90 plus years ago, that was happening. So I am super excited that we are here talking about this new book. And I hope that our friends who are tuning in may even think of investing in this. And I'm going to let you share that book and introduce that book. But we're doing this next couple of weeks, probably month to 2 months, because there's quite a few chapters. We're going to dig deeper into the herbs and essential oils from the garden. These things that all began in the garden. That's what the name of the book is called. It all began in the garden. So we're going to talk about how we use them as our home remedies, our folk remedies, how we support our nutrition with it, and how we incorporate it into our daily meals. So take it away. You've already read the book, and mine's still on its way here. So I'm going to let you lead the way today. Take it away, Paula.
Yeah, this is the book written by Dawn Camp. I really love it because she gives you some basics about essential oils in the first chapter or the introduction. Really dives into talking about how we use these internally, aromatically, topically, and some of the safety concerns too. So we'll run through some of her summaries of that. But the real meat of this book is each chapter is a different plant. So you can really find out specifically, okay, here's the plant. What is it? What does it look like? What does it do? How can I use it everyday life? And she gives so many great examples. I think there's a DIY recipe in every chapter. So it's a really thorough book and really taking the approach of God created these plants for our healing. They're there for us. And like you said, they've been used years and years ago, centuries ago, really, as we talked in the past. And now we're really seeing people stepping back into this, looking for those healthy, simple solutions that our bodies already are made to absorb. We're designed to utilize these plants in our bodies and not have all the harmful side effects of the synthetic versions that are out there. So really fun to dive into. So the first one we're going to dive into is for chapter 24, lavender. So this is by far the most popular oil. We see it everywhere. But it's also the most adulterated oil. There is actually more bottles of lavender oil than there are lavender plants in the world because people are creating a chemical synthetic version of it. So I don't know, Lisa, have you ever gone into a store and smelled these different bottles of lavender?
Yes, yes. And I've bought some of them and I've experienced one of them that actually caused burning. And what we know about lavender is it can soothe irritated skin of all kinds. But if you buy a lavender that is synthetic, you can exacerbate, the issue that you're trying to fix. You can make it worse by putting it on. And some of the things that we find in those bottles of lavender are chemicals. The other one is knowing which lavender to use. Lavandula augustifolia, that is the Latin name for it. When you're looking for a bottle that you're using topically on your skin for some sort of an irritation, you want to use Lavandula augustifolia. If you grab a lavender that has lavandin or spike lavender in it, that's higher in camphor, And camphor is a compound. You've all smelt it. It's in Vicks Vapor Rub. When you smell that, if you put that on irritated skin, many times that can cause more of a, discomfort. It can cause things to get worse. So not just, grabbing something that says lavender on it and slathering it on or putting it on our babies, but actually maybe learning a little bit about it. So I applaud you for checking this out and learning here. We also have a 101, email course about how to use lavender. You can go to the Plant Power Half Hour website. It'll be in the show notes here, and grab that course. So we talk about some of these things through that email course. There's maybe a dozen emails that just kind of get you up to speed on how to use plants and what kinds of things that we're looking for. But I've used lavender forever and ever. I used to teach newborn baby classes at the hospital in Hudson, Wisconsin. And lavender was one of the oils that we always brought because it's we use the word safe, but it's milder and more delicate in its essence than many of the other essential oils that might be spicy or more irritating. Lavender is calming and soothing. Lavender and geranium are built for baby, is what I used to say. So I've had lots of different experiences and so many stories to share about lavender.
Yeah, especially with babies, we are even more aware of making sure they're not getting chemicals in their life, that they're getting true plants. So checking your source of where your oils come from, and are they actually plants or are they the synthetic version? There's not labeling requirements, so it's really hard to decipher just by reading the packaging. So you really have to do your homework to research the company, find out, do they have farms? Do they grow their plants? Or are they creating these in a lab? Far different experience, different even the scent experience as you're comparing bottles and brands. And so that's definitely why I always go to Young Living first. It's safe. I trust their process. I've seen their farms. I've planted lavender in their fields. Like, it's the real deal. So I dive in right from there. But a lot of people think first of lavender for sleep, right? It's not necessarily for sleep. It's really for calming the body. When we calm our body, when we can relax and our nervous system calms down, we can move into sleep better. So it's a great transition that we use in that realm to keep things going. But yeah, as you mentioned earlier, Lisa, too much time in the sun definitely supports lavender afterwards. There's lots of pests out there too that some people, do you think, like, depending on your blood type, you're drawn to certain bug bites? And
actually, B vitamins. What we found, I did a whole series on camping and what you need to take with you for camping. And when I was preparing for that, what I discovered is that people who are deficient in B vitamins are actually more prone to getting bug bites. Possibly people with an O blood type as well kind of came up. There was some studies about that.
yeah.
But when I go camping, I usually increase my B vitamins. And the wonderful thing about B vitamins is they're water soluble. If you take too many, you just create really expensive pee. But if you're deficient, your body will grab onto those B vitamins, absorb it. And it's so funny. People can be getting, attacked by mosquitoes, and I seldom, like, I might get 6 mosquito bites in an entire season if I'm standing in the middle of a field that, is full of mosquitoes. They just don't like me. Either I'm sour or I have enough B vitamins.
Well, if they do find you, this is the one that I apply to any type of skin concerns. Whether you're out hiking, you're out in the backyard, you're working on the garden, like anything skin issues, I'm going to go to lavender for that. It just is soothing, calm, like, just like smelling it is calming. It's calming on the skin to apply that topically as well. So
I have another story that comes to mind when you're talking about that. I have a nephew who is on the spectrum, and children who are on the spectrum have intense sensitivities, and so he does not like to go outside. But when all my nieces and nephews eventually have to go hiking with me or go geocaching or something, and we took him geocaching, and we discovered and found that geocache, and he went crazy. He loved geocaching. He wanted to do it all the time, but he was so sensitive. He would get bug bites, massive bug bites. So I created a roller ball for him with the lavender in it, and he would carry it in his pocket. And he figured out when he put it on, it was just itching, and he put it on and it stopped itching. And just like instantly made the connection. Now when we go geocaching, it's like, I need my lavender. I need my roller ball. I need my roll. I don't think he says lavender. I need my roller ball, because he knows there's a roller on the end of it. And I don't like to use the word medicine when we're using plant things. Sometimes parents will say, oh, we're going to get your medicine, and they'll give their kids the melatonin or their vitamins and they call it medicine. So my preference would be to stay away from that, because this is your food. This is your folk remedy or your your bug spray or your bug remedy, something of that nature, but it's not medicine. It's
Yeah.
for our healing, but it's not the medicine. But it's amazing how, kids and pets take to herbs and essential oils because they don't get in their own head about it. They just do it. They feel it. It feels good. They keep going.
Yeah. Well, it feels good. It smells good. It's a win-win for everything.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite ways to use oils is a scent tent. Do you do this, Lisa? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they do.
So a scent tent is easily just putting a drop of oil into your palm. I circle it together 3 times just to activate the oil. And then I'm covering my nose and mouth and just breathing that in 3 times. That is getting into my limbic system. It's getting into affecting my emotions, my memory. My entire body is going to absorb it through breathing it in, but also topically, right? It's on my hands. My cells are going to soak that up. I'm going to be able to enjoy that as I'm using it. So it's an easy way to utilize lavender anywhere you go. If you're not in a place that has a diffuser, if you're not in a place where you can, you know, bottles are tiny, so they're really easy to travel with too, or you can get even tinier ones to put that in. And then I often just run my hands through my hair, because your hair is actually a natural diffuser as well. So I'm going to be able to enjoy that scent the rest of the day too.
Nice.
Easy way to use it. Of course, putting it in a diffuser or something like that makes it easy for the whole family to enjoy. But if it's just for you, just go ahead and breathe that in. Man, just taking a few deep breaths already calms us down. So why not add oils and really help your whole body move through that? Have you ever made a sunburn spray?
Oh yeah. I have, in fact, I have this big old patch here on my back from having basal cell cancer removed just on Tuesday. I don't leave the house with sunscreen on, and I'm in my beach top today because I'm headed to the beach for 3 days with a friend of mine. And yes, I've already loaded up my homemade sunscreen, or yeah, my sun block actually, because I do use zinc oxide in it. And then I have my afterburn, my afterburn. I have a couple of them,
Yeah.
a couple of them already packaged up to see. I try to not get burnt. We're going to be under shade, and I have a very big hat, and I seldom get sun on my face, but it happens if you're just outside, out and about, even going to get the mail. If you're pale, light skinned, fair skinned, it's easy to be outside just for talking to the neighbors. You can get a little sunscreen or sunburn on your neck if you're not
Mhm.
wearing any sunscreen during the hot time of the day. So it's an easy thing to do. I do have to say, Paula, I am cheating. I am bringing the Young Living After Sun, lotion with me this time,
Yeah.
because I know that it's powerful and it works. So
Yeah, it's already made. If
yeah,
you want a recipe, Dawn Camp's book has a DIY sunburn spray in it that includes using some aloe vera juice and the lavender oil in it. So it's always a great option there.
You know,
What's
when I'm home,
inside?
I do kind of cheat it. I have aloe plants, on the front
Yeah.
porch, the back porch, they're all over in my house. And so I just grab a chunk off, fillet it, cut it in half, and I just rub it on and go for my walk. And that's my sunscreen because it's not an SPF 50 or anything like that because those are numbers that come from the lab, how they measure it. But throughout the Caribbean, you'll find people walking around with aloe leaves stuck in their back pockets, and they just cut them open and they rub them on. They use it for their massage lotion. You may have gone on a Caribbean cruise or gone to a Caribbean island and you see them coming along saying, "Would you like a massage?" And they rub the aloe on you and put it in. So it moisturizes your skin. It puts a lot of vitamins and nutrients into your skin, causes healing to happen, and it actually acts as a natural sunscreen, not a block, but a screen so that you're not getting the intensity of the sun when you're using them.
Hmm. Yeah, I know you're in Florida. You've been exposed to the sun all winter long. It's April here. I am white as can be. So these first few days that I'm out in the sun a lot are really, I have to be aware and careful because I will burn pretty quickly. So aloe and lavender combination are definitely my friend after I come back inside as soothing and recovery for my skin for sure. Let's move on to lemon oil. Lemon is chapter 25 of this book. And I just love lemon because it's happy. It's like sunshine in a bottle to me, right? It's uplifting, it's mood boosting. If you have a crabby family, get that in the diffuser first thing in the morning. It turns the day around. Everyone sometimes wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. So a little help for that attitude adjustment is always, always good. But lemon, this one is actually created from the rind of the fruit. So normally all of our other oils are steam distilled from the plant matter. This is actually cold pressed from the rind of the fruit. So super effective to get it from the fruit that way. But it also means this one is readily available. This is, we grow more lemons. We can make more lemon oil. It's a constant thing compared to other crops that you can only harvest once a year. That's why lemon is more affordable and easily to available all the time. Um, what do you like to use lemon for, Lisa?
Mm. It's happy and it's uplifting and it can scour the tub. You get that ring around the tub. I use lemon. I'll take the actual lemon and put baking soda on it and just, kind of work it in. And if you need a little vinegar, I have a spray bottle that I kind of hit it with, and it'll clean things. I've gotten gum out of the hair with kids. If the peanut butter doesn't work, lemon will finish the job. I've taken stains out of white comforters because I have who does this? In my guest room, I actually have a white comforter on the bed. And it seems like people are prone to making stains more so on white comforters. So I've used it on that. Uh, and I put it in my water. I do put it in my water and drink it. I like lots of different things in my water. I don't put lemons themselves in my water. I don't order lemons in a restaurant because I don't know if it's been washed on the outside and I don't know who touched it before they put it in the bowl. And that totally freaks me out when people order lemon to put in their water at the restaurant. I know it's a restaurant and it's supposed to be clean and tidy, but the back staff, the kitchen staff isn't always the one that's doing that. Oftentimes it's the front staff, the wait staff that's cutting those lemons and putting them in the bowl, and they've touched the menus that everybody else in the place has touched. Sorry, okay, off the soapbox. I take out my bottle, I put in a drop, I'm good to go.
Yeah. And it's awesome too because lemon oil is different than lemon juice. Lemon juice often can deteriorate the enamel of our teeth, versus lemon oil still has some great limonene properties, but it's not going to be as hard on our teeth as that. So it's a great option to help the body without um, weakening our teeth as well. So yeah, a simple solution there. Um, I simply have a spray bottle of my Thieves Cleaner. I add drops of lemon to it that I use to spray and clean everything. So absolutely. And then every time you buy something, those stickers you just have to like peel off and work off. I just take my lemon, put a drop on there, and then let it sit for a moment, and it just simply rubs right off. So yeah, anything sticky for sure, grabbing the lemon for that. In the back of this chapter, Dawn's got another great recipe in here for a lemon dusting and furniture polish spray too.
That's in my
So
healthy housekeeping book. Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, you can
Yeah.
download that from your site too, right?
Yeah, if folks do want to do DIY and make your own cleaning products, as I mentioned, I've had skin cancer for probably 30 years now. I've had lots of issues with that, but I've been able to manage it with a lot of, it's part of the reason why I do health and wellness is because I needed that at such a young age. But I wrote a book. It's an ebook, and you can go to my Healthy House. It's called Healthy Housekeeping. And if you go to herbidea.com, it's my website. There is a link on there to grab that book. And I think it's about 18 pages, and it's everything from furniture polish to carpet cleaner to your own shampoo and face, like all kinds of things to clean your body, clean your house, clean your dishes. So, and it's
Yes.
free if anybody wants it. It's just a
So
service.
many, so many good things in there. I love it.
Thanks.
Fantastic. Okay, last piece on lemon though, a couple of warnings. It is photosensitive. So if you are going to put lemon on your skin, I don't recommend going into the sun with it. You will burn faster in that spot. So do it in your nighttime routine, or where you're going to have at least 12 hours or more, depending on how sensitive your skin is. Or make sure that area that you're putting it on is completely covered, that you're not going to expose it to the sun. The other thing about lemon in your water, I saw Lisa had a glass water bottle there. So using glass or stainless steel is important when you're using any type of citrus oil, because you don't want the plastic to dissolve and move into there. Yeah, stainless steel filter on that. Awesome.
For the herbies in the bottom. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then last but not least is peppermint. What do you love about peppermint, Lisa?
Wow, there's so many things. You know what I love about peppermint is it's the one oil, I always have it. I never leave home without it, but it's the one oil that I find can shock people. What came to mind when you asked that question, I was at the Minnesota State Fair some years ago with back when I was married, and I was with my former mother-in-law, and she was really having, some discomfort with walking. And, I don't know if it was strain or what the deal was, but to the point where she couldn't walk anymore. Like she just wanted to sit down and she wasn't going to be able to move anymore. So I said, well, let's go to the bathroom. And I had some sunscreen because I have sunscreen. So I put some sunscreen lotion in my hand and put a drop of it in there and in her hand and had her rub it together and just rub it around her hips and her lower back. And I said, let's just sit down for a minute. We'll rest and see if that doesn't kick in. Lo and behold, discomfort gone. It's amazing. And she just couldn't believe it. She was like, wow, that was like one drop. How is that even possible? Or,
Mhm.
another way, I put a drop on my thumb and to the roof of my mouth when, I'm out in the sun, I get I've had some sun exposure, heat stroke. So once you've had that, you're prone to it again. And so I use that to just cool my body temperature down, just a little drop on the back of my neck or on my thumb, the roof of my mouth. Caveat, I use the white labeled peppermint that is labeled for food use, internal use. I don't want anyone to go grab peppermint off the shelf and think it's okay to do that. Again, talking about chemicals and things in it, know where your peppermint comes from, know where your products come from, and if they're allowed for internal use, if they're safe for internal use. But that on the roof of the mouth helps with any tension, cools my system down, stops hot flashes. And it always, I use it with a lot of women when I'm out and about because I use it so much that it's like, oh, here, have a little peppermint. Here, have a little peppermint. Put a little drop in your water. It'll refresh you. So many, many, many uses for peppermint. And those are just kind of the refreshing ones. There's so many more
Mhm.
that we can talk about.
Yeah. I really love it for that mid-afternoon, like recenter, reinvigorate, like help me be a little bit more alert when I'm kind of in the lull of the day.
Yeah. You know
So
what?
that,
Have you done it with the honey? Like I use local honey for allergies. Right now, the pollen is really high here. So, a cup of hot, steamy water, that teaspoon of the local honey and a drop of peppermint in there, and you kind of stir it up. Have you done that? That
oh,
will wake your senses up. it's just kind of like, ooh, you got a little bit of sugar, you got that sweet and that peppermint. Yeah, it's that's a great drink in the afternoons, and it's easy
That
because you
sounds
can have it
awesome.
with you all the time. And you don't have to use local honey. I mean, if you can be in a restaurant and order a warm cup of water instead of a cold cup of water, and they always have the little honey packets for people who drink tea. So I use that often when I'm out and about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that brings up a good point. Peppermint is a hot oil. So honey in the drink helps kind of dilute it, calm it down. Peppermint directly on my skin would be too much. My skin wants to soak it in too fast. I definitely need a carrier oil with um, any type of peppermint I put on. So I carry a peppermint roller with
Mhm.
me because that's easy, when I can roll it on the back of my neck or my temples when I'm having a tough day, or just to invigorate me and just smell it. So what I'm generally doing is a little roller bottle. I'm putting in 10 to 15 drops of peppermint, and all the rest of it is my carrier oil. It's just going to slow down my body from absorbing it too fast. It wants the good stuff and soaking it in, but if I can slow it down at a gentle pace for my body to absorb it, then I don't have that irritation on the skin, or I don't feel that hot, burning feeling. So that one's definitely one to test on people to see how much carrier oil you need. If it ever is hot or too tingly, add more carrier oil. Don't add water. Water's going to exasperate it. Add more of a fatty oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, almond oil. Any of those are really helpful to soothe that down. Yeah, peppermint, I love that. The reason I picked these 3 chapters is because it is spring here in Minnesota. The trees are budding and everyone's complaining about their head and all the things that are going on with their body. Well, peppermint, lavender, and lemon make a beautiful synergy. Combine them in equal parts and utilize that to support the body in spring. It's beneficial to put it in the diffuser. You can roll it on your chest. You can just breathe it in. That combination, really helpful, really supportive as we're watching all of our trees start to get their first leaves and the plants coming up out of the ground. This one is on repeat for us frequently here, but also it just smells really good. I might not need that support, but I just love that combination. So I also have another roller of that one here too with that trio in it. So
I do that with the three of them together, 1 drop of each with the honey, but I'll do it in a larger container. I make a hot pot,
Ooh,
heat up the hot pot and pour it into a stainless steel pitcher, put those in there, put the honey in there, and it can be a hot drink or a cold drink at that point. And it just, during this, pollen-y season, it just seems to help you feel good
yeah.
to be out when you're outside.
These are 3 oils that have so many benefits and uses. I could keep talking about them for hours, but we're going to wrap it up there. Next week, we're going to dive into a few other oils, kind of taking some oils or some chapters of this book that are kind of related. So next week is a lot about flowers. We're going to talk about geranium, ylang ylang, jasmine, and rose. So we're going to share what Dawn has for her ideas in there and a few of our own tips as well. So looking forward to going deeper with this next week.
This is so fun where you get to run the show on that side and I just get to do the commentary. I have so many stories. Like these just like when you've been doing this for so long, it's like it's exciting for me to actually think back of the things that people have done and the experiences that people have. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out. You can always post in the show notes here if you have questions or comments about the things that we're sharing, or if you need some help. Paul and I are both available. We're well-versed, lots of experience. So feel free to ask if you need help on something. And if you need to get your hands on some oils, these are 3 great ones to get started with. They're a great beginner set because they can do so many things. So don't get overwhelmed by the hundreds of different plants out there that all produce essential oils. Pick the 3 that is easy for you to get started with. Or, if you haven't used your oils in a while, I hope we've inspired you to go dig them out, put them on your counter, see how you can use them, throw them in your purse. You never know when you're out and about if you're going to need them today or this season. So thank you again for joining us, everybody. Come back next Thursday. Paula's going to continue on with our next 4 flowering fragrant plants that come from us that creates essential oils. So we'll see you next Thursday, everybody. Bye.